Hey everyone, so today is going to be a video all about making friends as soon as possible in college specifically. Whether we like it or not, I mean, I personally like it because I'm tired of being at home. It's back to school season, it's approaching, and this year it's just simply not gonna be the typical back to school season that we would all like. I go to Illinois State University. I'm gonna be a junior this year. You're gonna be a freshman in college, or maybe you're in college and you just are struggling and you want to make friends. I really wanted to talk about this because I think when you go to any new environment, whether that be school, a new job, anything, it's just a better experience overall if you have friends. Making friends, the whole beginning phases of friendship is always weird, and it's not my favorite because I always just want to skip all the small talk and just like already have that close bond with the person, but of course that's not how it works. I noticed something really interesting, like how easier it was for me to make friends in college compared to high school. Like my freshman year of high school was probably the worst school year of my entire life. That was the first time in my life where I didn't have friends at school, because from kindergarten to 8th grade I had a big group of friends, solid friendships, and I'm still friends with most of those people today, which I'm super grateful for. I realize how, you know, rare that is to like still be in touch with like your middle school friends. I didn't realize how rare it was until I went to high school and college and people told me that they hated middle school, and I was like, can't relate. Freshman year was just hard, and also I was just super shy, and I was like determined on becoming this different person, and so I really didn't show people who I was freshman year of high school, or even sophomore year for that matter, in the beginning at least. Like I truly, this is gonna sound so cliche, in high school I didn't start making close friends until I started showing my true self and opening up more and just literally being who I am. I remember my freshman year I was just super shy, timid, really reserved. Okay, those are just all synonyms. I wanted to be this different person than who I was because I'm not a shy person. I'm just so like worried about what people would think if I did this, or like how I dressed. I was like, you know, it was just like random stuff like that, and I just really wasn't who I wanted to be. Once I started just like dressing how I wanted, doing what I wanted, and like not caring, like people I guess started recognizing that things I thought like people would hate about me is what people liked. So it's just really interesting because like a lot of things I was insecure about, like my weird sense of humor and just like not even like physically, like personality traits, like I have a lot more personality insecurities I would say than physical insecurity. I'm always more conscious about how I'm treating people and how I'm acting versus what I look like. So I would say it wasn't until like towards the end of first semester of sophomore year that I made really close friends, and I'm still in touch with those really great 3 people to this day. That was a little brief synopsis on my high school experience. Getting into college, how to make friends literally as soon as possible. I wrote down a good amount of tips. I tried not to make them super generic. The first thing I wrote down, during the first week of college, there's always these like events. At ISU, they call them welcome week events, and you're kind of forced to go to them. You know, at first I'm just like, these events are stupid, like casino night, what is this? I did actually make 2 friends at one of those welcome week events, which I still talk to this day, because everybody there, they want to make friends. They want college to be a fun experience, and it's not going to be fun if you're doing it alone. I know these events sound stupid, but just go to them because you truly don't have anything to lose. So the second one is get a job, because I met 90% of my friends from college at my job. With getting a job, it's like you're going to be there all the time. You're going to be seeing those same people, so it's easier to make friends and form a connection based off the thing you have in common, which is the job. That's how I made the friends there. We were all talking about things related to work. And I remember one day, a little story about my roommate who I had last year, Sarah. We knew each other because we worked together, and we became friends through the job. We had both started like right away freshman year. Like literally I went into the school year with a job because I had applied in the summer, and I saw her on the elevator and we were like, hey, you going to work? And then we just started talking, and then little by little we talked every day and, you know, walked to work and like made it a thing. Became friends. I just started talking to people at work, and then I just became really close with so many people at work. This is one of those basic things that are just gonna sound super cliche. Joining anything on campus is super important, and I feel like in college it's not as promoted to be in extracurriculars compared to high school. I knew right away that I wanted to get involved with something related to my passions because I wanted to perfect the things I want to be good at and do in the future. I joined a club at ISU literally right away called Her Campus. It is an online magazine for women all across America to publish their articles on, talk about whatever topics they want, and it was this, the focus was like writing, and I'm a huge lover of writing. I'm not the best at it. It's definitely like a huge outlet for me and something I'm super passionate about, and I'm minoring in writing. That was like something I decided to do this school year, so I was like, I really would love to be involved with something writing related on campus. Doing that, like, you can definitely form connections when you have something in common, and you can talk about the club you're a part of. Also, another thing people do is join sororities, and I did join a sorority. I have a whole video on my sorority experience because it's a doozy. It's something that I don't regret joining, because while it didn't work out for me, it does work out. I've seen it work out for many people. It's a really good way to make friends, but there are other ways. Like, you don't need to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do that. If you're like me and you simply can't afford the prices, trust me, like, it's not the only way. So don't be worried if you can't join a sorority, if you can't afford it, because I was like that too. I was like, man, like, if I join a sorority, it's just like all these instant friends right away. But the truth is, like, yeah, you can have a lot of friends on the outside, but like, you deep down, you're gonna know like how close you actually are with these people. And I rather have, like, you know, everyone says quality over quantity, and I'm a firm believer in that. Like, I rather have really close, strong bonds with people, even if it's fewer, than just a lot of surface level, shallow friendships. If you truly believe like you're meant to be in a sorority, then I would try it out. But again, it's not the only way to make friends. Being in a sorority, they put a lot of events on, and they kind of make you want to get involved through that and like get closer with people. But if you're not someone that's like into being like forced to do things, I would not join a sorority. I really wouldn't, because there's a lot of the events that like force you to go, and like if you don't go, you get fined. So if you're not really into that, don't join a sorority. So with a job in a club or a sorority, you know, you just gotta follow your heart and test it out in college and just try whatever you want to, because, you know, at the end of the day, you can always quit or drop out of it or change your mind. Like, that's kind of how I felt with the sorority. I was like, you know, the worst that's gonna happen is that I can't afford it and then I have to leave. That's exactly what I did. I mean, I did it a semester. It wasn't for me, and you move on with your life. It's as simple as that. Okay, and this kind of goes back what I was saying in the beginning. This is super important. Do not be someone that you aren't. I tried this, it didn't work for me. Sometimes I look back at the person I was in high school, and there's versions of myself that I don't like. Even now, like, that part of me comes out, and I know I sound very vague, but like, I don't really feel comfortable expressing all my insecurities on the internet quite yet. I feel like we all have quirks about ourselves that we like think about, and we're like, man, like, I don't like that I do that. And there's things in high school that I did, aspects of myself, or just not be my authentic self. And I recognize once I started becoming myself, that's when I made some of my best friends in high school, and I'm eternally grateful to them. Remember, there was this quote from Degrassi. Bianca L. D'Souza said, if any of you guys are Degrassi fans, she's like, high school sucks, spend time with people who don't. High school didn't necessarily suck for me, but there was just, it was a real stressful time. I don't know why I keep going back to high school. It's just because like high school is just a really weird time for me. I guess my next tip would be being your authentic self. Like, if your authentic self is, if who you truly are is shy and you're introverted and you do struggle talking to people you don't know, just try to step out of your comfort zone. And it's super hard. It's easier said than done. For me to say that is kind of ridiculous, because I'm like a full-on extrovert and I don't have a problem doing it. Like, I'm not like going up to strangers and just like sparking random conversations. When it comes to like meeting new people, like, that's not truly ever been a struggle for me. But if you're introverted and you're shy, like, if you just wait for people to come up to you and reach out to you, it's gonna take you so much longer to make friends. Sometimes you have to be the first one to do it and to initiate something. You never know what could come out of it. Friends always make fun of me for this, but one of the first things I ask people when I meet them is like, so what TV shows do you watch? Because I've watched a lot of TV shows, so it's a real good chance that I've at least watched one show that they have. It's just a simple example of something I like to start a conversation and to break the ice and to find a common interest, and that will usually be a catalyst to talk about different things. Once you establish something that you're passionate about and maybe you have it in common with another person, people are going to want to keep talking to you about it. You'd be surprised at how many friendships can form out of that. Like, I can't tell you how many friendships of mine have formed because we talked about TV shows. Like, my friend Tori, who was in my Drive With Me video, like, the foundation of our friendship was our love for TVs, our love for TVs, our love for TV shows. That was literally one of the first things we talked about when we were in middle school together, like House of Anubis and Degrassi. Like, you truly don't know what can come out of that. Don't be afraid to open up. And I know this is tricky, and sometimes for me, this is a really hard thing to do. That's why I struggled making so many friends in high school, because people didn't really know who I was. And I'm not saying you have to, you know, spell out your deepest and darkest secrets the first day you meet someone. Of course not. That would just turn them off and probably freak them out. Obviously, it's all about timing and, you know, what feels right. I remember my freshman year of college with my 3 friends. We were sitting in their quad, and we were just like all like, oh, let's go around and like maybe share something like a personal story that from each of our lives. And after we did that, like, it just felt like, wow, like we all trust each other, like we can say something personal and like not feel any judgment or worry. And I think that was maybe like, I want to say it was October or September. We did that. School starts in August, so that was like about a month of knowing each other. And that's just because we kept hanging out and like kept doing like random welcome week activities, going to the movies, just like on the weekend coming to each other's dorms. You know, I've never been someone who likes burdening others with my problems and my struggles, and I don't like people viewing me in a certain way. As stupid as that sounds, like your friends are not going to judge you, you know, but people you just meet, you don't know. I don't know, I don't want people to look at me and see the struggles I've been through, if that makes any sense. But I recognize, like, once I've opened up to people, like, I feel like there's just like this new layer of the friendship that just makes it so much stronger. When you open up, that makes the other person more comfortable to open up. And I'm not saying you have to say everything you've been through in your life, every struggle. No, of course not. Like, it's hard for people to talk about certain things, and I'm certainly not like doing that. It's definitely a wall that's like a shallow friendship versus like a deep friendship, and I just, you know, opening up, it breaks that wall down. If you all equally like try opening up and like building a close relationship, I think it will improve the chances of the friendship being long term. And just the last few more tips, the way I made friends a lot of the time in high school and in college is I have this thing of like telling stories. I share a bunch of stories and people just like listen. Like when you're telling these crazy things you've been through, like people, like even when I was at work and I'd be telling these stories to my friends or like people that I know, like people that I at the time like I didn't really talk to would turn around and listen and be like, what, Vanessa, like what's going on? And like from there, like you just form these connections. Also, I feel like it's always the way you tell the story. Like if you're not a good storyteller, this is not going to be one for you. But if you like telling stories, like don't be afraid of like telling it to a lot of people, because people are going to think you're interesting and maybe funny. I don't know, I'm not going to say I'm funny and interesting. Always a good icebreaker. If storytelling isn't your thing and you're not really into like telling your stories to a bunch of people, a good way to like make friends pretty quickly is not being afraid to try new things. Like if someone is presenting you with an idea and you're a little scared, with that said, I'm not saying to like succumb to peer pressure. Never do something you don't want to do, but don't just be so quick to say no just because it's out of your comfort zone. For me, like I was never into going to frat parties my freshman year, but I did go to a few because I didn't want to be that person that's just like, no, 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 no. Like I hate frat parties. Simply because just I don't do well with heat, and it would be literally like an oven in these frat houses. So that just wasn't the vibe for me personally. I still was open to doing them because I'm not that person just like, oh, we just gotta do what I want all the time. Like, no, you have to be willing to compromise and do different things and try new things in college. That's like literally what college is all about, trying new things. So another way to like make friends, I guess, is like making friends through other friends, like a friend of a friend. I've made a few friendships through that. My roommate Sarah, like she had this friend Mandy, and like I didn't know who she was, and she started working at my same job, and then we got closer through that. Now we're all living together in a house. Don't be that person that's like, oh, like I don't know their friend, like I don't like, but sometimes you're not gonna vibe with them. Like I get it, like there are friends of friends that I just don't click with. I have no interest in becoming their friend. Don't be opposed to the idea right at first. Like be open, becoming friends with that friend of a friend. Another tip is if you're an incoming freshman, don't just stick to your roommate. Please don't do this. See that person's just like, yeah, me and my roommate are gonna do everything together. Like, I don't really want to make any other friends. Like, I don't think people are like that. But if you're going into college and rooming with someone you already know, like, please be open to making new friends. Me and my friend Alyssa, who we've been friends since elementary school, we were going to the same college, and we kind of both agreed that we didn't want to room together because if we were going to college, we wanted to have that kind of like traditional experience of rooming with someone you don't know. We ended up living on the same floor anyways. Alyssa and I, we got super lucky. Like she was literally a blessing my freshman year. If I didn't have Alyssa my freshman year, I don't know how it would have went. Like I was so grateful for her. We decided, like mutually decided, that we didn't want to live together because we didn't want to just cling on to each other, and we wanted to like make friends in college. And we both did that. Like she made a bunch of friends, I made a bunch of friends. Glad we did that because that made us like branch out and like not just cling to each other just because we knew each other so well. Like she knew me, like obviously out of all my college friends, like Alyssa knows me the best because I've known her my entire life practically. Us simply not living together freshman year definitely opened the door for us to make new friends and not make us just like each other's safety blankets, if that makes sense. I really wish everyone the best of luck. If you're going to be a freshman in college this year, I hope some of this advice was helpful. Don't be too worried about it because friendships will happen naturally. Like, you will click with people, but it's not just gonna magically happen. You need to put in work and like make an effort and step out of your comfort zone. Simply how you're gonna make friends. Not everyone's just gonna come up to you and be like, hey, wanna be friends? Like, you have to play your part, and while it sucks in the beginning, it's gonna be worth it in the long run. Trust me, trust me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. I'll talk to you guys in my next video.